So these are the Wabco trucks that Matt and Jake bought several years ago. These came out of Townsend, Montana, limestone mine there. It's owned by a company called Quarry Services. And apparently they bought it from somebody else. Anyway, they had all these old Wabcos and an old 992. And I think they said they cut the 992 up for scrap. I guess it still ran. They were still using it. Anyway, they bought a bunch of cat trucks and they wanted to get rid of these. So Matt found these and went and looked at them. And this is number 7. It's got a 1271 Jimmy in it, in really good shape. And this is probably the best truck out of all of them. Anyway, they wanted an outrageous amount of money for them, and they just had 3 left. These 2 runners and one that was supposed to be a parts truck. So Matt offered them, I think, $17,500 or something for the both of them. And the accountant said, "Well, are you interested in the parts truck and the parts?" And he said, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, why don't you just give me $22,000? You can have all 3 of them." And then he found out that the parts truck actually ran when they drove it on the trailer. Then he was kind of going, "Oops, I think I made the wrong deal here." But Quarry Services also owns a trucking company out of Billings. I can't remember what they were called. So the boys made a deal with them, package deal, for them to haul all these trucks down. And the boys bought these trucks for the job we did down to Lake Channel several years ago. Where we were picking up giant boulders, we found out real quick that the old Diamond T wasn't going to haul those monster rocks. And so these trucks more than paid for themselves over and over on that job. It was a pretty dang good investment. They came with all the maintenance records. They'd been pretty well taken care of. So this one needs a starter. Jake has gone and got a rebuilt starter for it. And then number 4 here is the one with the Cummins in it. This one has a Cummins, and the parts truck out there has a Cummins. These are 420 Cummins engines. This one's leaking antifreeze out from under it, which means the counterbores are probably bad, so it won't be long before they got to do some engine work to that one. You saw the video where I ruined the right front tire on this one trying to load it on the trailer by myself.
Well, I ain't no city
But the parts truck is out there. It's minus the right front wheel because the boys had to take the right front off and put it, I think, on the inside there on number 4. Anyway, it's been a good parts truck, and they got like a giant 4x8 pallet box full of parts that went with this. They got tons and tons of parts. That one out there's got a good Allison transmission in it. I guess the only thing wrong with it is one of the final drives has a bearing out or something. But I doubt they'll ever fix that one. They'll just use it for parts. But you saw my videos where we went and we built, graveled, cindered those roads for the BLM. Now this one, they've taken all the stuff out of the back of it to move some junk. And so Jake cut it all out. But let me go show you the other truck. Okay, that's the setup they made to spread cinders. And it works really, really well. The only changes I think we'd make if we do that again is to put about 8 inches of sideboard from that back truck frame forward up to the sideboards that are on there, or put about 3-foot sideboards all the way around, put sideboards up around the headache over the whatever you call that part on the front of the bed that protects the cab there. And then you saw how we loaded these in those videos. We dug a hole and backed them in so the 88 could pile it up in there as high as he could. So if they were to put more sideboards on it, we just dig a deeper hole and get it down.
Yeah, this chick's about to blow. Now stop that howling hound dog. I got a bigger bite. Stop that howling hound dog.
I think you could probably get 50 yards in that sucker with some sideboards. And then we could really, because cinders are so light, you could stuff a ton of them in there. Now, this is number 7. It's got the V12 Jimmy in it. Number 4's got the 420 Cummins. That Cummins will eat that Detroit for lunch. I'm not kidding you. That Cummins will outrun that Detroit any day of the week. That Detroit makes a lot of noise, burns a ton of fuel, but doesn't do what the Cummins does. So this is the parts truck, and it's got a 420 Cummins in it also. They've just been robbing parts. Like I said, they took the front tire off. The rear tires really aren't any good. This one's flat. They took the hoist cylinders. This side, I think, had a hoist cylinder off on it. They took it off and used that for parts and rebuilt the hoist cylinders. The accumulators, they had to take this ball socket out of this one.
Hammer, drive you a nail. We'll spend your weekends in the county jail.
For number 7 and use it. This tire's flat. Fuel cap's off again. It didn't have a fuel cap on it for like, I don't know, forever up at the mine. So, oh, it does have a cylinder on this side. Sweet, they got more parts. Anyway, it's got a good transmission in it. This tire's about wore out. I don't think I'd run it. It could potentially blow. I think they just put it on there to move the truck around. Anyway, so there's a 420 Cummins, it's rebuildable, I guess. You could rebuild that. And oh, they've taken the steering box off of it. So it's probably going to end up getting scrapped right here. So I got some awesome, cool stuff this week in the mail. Man, I love you guys for sending this to me. That's so cool. First off, I got Eric Lawhorn, and he sent me some chocolate covered dump trucks. Actually, pure chocolate dump trucks. Anyway, I've already ate a bunch of them, Eric. These are awesome. And a little something for Shane. Man, he really appreciates that. I love that guy. He could take $100 and make that last longer than a camel in the desert. I'm not kidding you. So thank you very much for that. And I want to say to your mom, Marguerite, you did a good job raising Eric. Good man. I got a package from Scott Clark. He's in Forest Hill. That's in New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for the letter. This is pretty cool stuff. So he sent me some Australian chocolates with the Jpaydirt on there. That's cool. Thank you so much for that. And then he sent me some cool magazines. Just Trucks, the Australian edition of Machinery Trader. That's totally cool. And I'm gonna really like this since I'm working on the Challenger, Just Cars. And so I want to see what kind of stuff they build and what they do down in Australia. I have not even opened this. Oh, cool. This is what I need right now. I need a car lift for my shop. I was trying to put my headers on the car, and they got to go from underneath, and I need a lift. I can't, either I got to have a lift or I got to take the torsion bars off. So, but Scott, this is super. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to send you some hats and calendars as soon as the new hats are back in stock again, and some decals. I'm going to pay you back for this. This is great. Scott farms in Forest Hills, and so he knows how to weld, he knows how to fix stuff, and that's what he likes about my channel, is we do a lot of that here. We have to survive, and so that's cool. Thank you very much, Scott. Okay, this next package came from Mike Rathy, and he's in Washington. Now this is cool. This is old stuff. He sent me a whole bunch of old watch fobs and stuff some time ago, if you remember. But this book is from when his grandfather went back to Caterpillar in 1937. And I want to show you the pictures in here. This is cool. This is his grandpa right here. That's neat. Anyway, it lists everybody that's there. And this is J.J. Rathy. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Rathy? Anyway, this is old stuff. Anyway, it's just a super cool book, and it looks like they rode a train back there. And boy, that would be cool. I would love to go back in time and ride a train like that. Even today, it would be cool to ride a train like that. But anyway, it's just full of all kinds of pictures and stuff. Mike, that is a collector's item. I don't know what to say other than just thank you. That says a ton about you, that you would put this in the care of my hands. I will take care of this. That is some cool stuff. Thank you very much, Mike. Hey, good Friday evening to you, everybody. It's about 5 o'clock Idaho time, and I'm getting my whiteboard done. Wanted to talk about some awesome subscribers, but first, just a reminder about the old Kenny coloring book available at Amazon.com. Just search for Old Kenny Coloring Book, and I'll put the link below also. Okay, I got 2 calendars in my e-store. The equipment calendar and the swimsuit calendar. The problem has been fixed. They are now listed separately, so you can choose which one you want. I've probably on accident sent the wrong ones out. I've probably sent a bunch of swimsuit ones out and you wanted the equipment. I put out an email to you. Some of you have responded, some of you haven't. If you haven't, please do so. Anyway, thank you for buying those. And I ran out of Anderson hats. They didn't show up today, so I'm hoping early next week I'll have those. And so for those of you that have ordered a hat, as soon as they show up, I will get those out to you. Thank you very much for supporting old Jpaydirt. I really appreciate it. One of my homies from Sweden, Svante Anderson, thank you for subscribing to my channel and watching it. That's awesome. Someday, when I make a lot more money and I get some time off and you guys will let me stop making videos for a while, I would love to go to Sweden, go back to where the Andersons originally came from and see some of Sweden. It looks like a beautiful country. John Barfield from Thomasville, Georgia. Thank you for subscribing, John. Joe Bloodworth from Crawfordsville, Arkansas. Thank you, Joe. Aaron Sprung from Plymouth, Iowa. Thank you, sir. Scott Charlton from Hurt, Virginia. How did you get hurt, Scott? Is everybody in that town hurt? That's an interesting name, Hurt. Brian Sherman from Greenleaf, Idaho, right here in Idaho. Brian, I am not sure where Greenleaf is. I have never heard of that. Please tell me exactly where Greenleaf is. I want to Google that. Chris Creech, he's from LaGrange, North Carolina. That's a good ZZ Top song, LaGrange. And Alan Edmonston from Enfield, New Hampshire. Is Enfield, would that happen to be the place where Enfield rifles are made? I don't know, just thought I'd ask. Anyway, thank you. Oh, want to thank Dan Kruer from Kentucky for making these Jpaydirt keychains for me. That's awesome. Dan's friend, he had him made this, make the Jpaydirt sign for me too. And those are only 30 bucks. And you can have whatever you want made on there. So if you want one of those, just go to this website right here. Anyway, thanks, Dan, and hope you guys down at the Ford plant had a Merry Christmas. Thank you for this stuff. That's cool.
It's alright. It's alright.